A great game of football between two very good sides saw Manchester United edge another close encounter with yet another penalty. On the whiteboard, I'll be focusing on United's press in the early stages, the impact the drop-off of United's press had on the game, and United's off the ball running into space. First, let's look at the stats. Villa had the better possession, and the eye test of the game indicates that Villa had sustained periods of pressure on United, but United were dangerous and accurate on the transition and creative around Villa's penalty box, which had United on top in the total shots for the game. Let's move on to the whiteboard. In the first 10 minutes, United's press all over the pitch broke up all of Villa's progressive play. It stopped Luis pulling the strings in Villa's midfield and getting the balls to Grealish in the final third. United were either making Villa turn the ball over or forcing Villa to hit the ball long. Moving on to screenshots of the game, McGinn has the ball in a decent area, but with nothing much in front of him in the way of a forward pass, with Luis and El Ghazi engaged and McTominay screening Grealish. Fernandes puts pressure on McGinn and he is forced to put the ball at risk by playing a pass to El Ghazi with Fred on him. Fred wins the ball back, Fernandes touches the ball out to Pogba, and United are looking at Villa's back four. Moving on to the next situation, McTominay wins a header from a goal kick, and you can see how Villa's midfield are accounted for. The ball drops to McGinn, who is under instant pressure from Fernandes. McGinn is forced to play backwards to Target, who is pressed by Rashford. Target plays it back further to Mings, who hits the ball long. Look at where Fernandes has come from to keep the pressure on Villa and stop them playing the ball into Luis and McGinn. This last situation, the ball is already in a difficult area for Villa, with the ball bouncing going towards the touchline. But again, United have done a great job of putting pressure on the ball and smothering possible forward passing options. Target plays the ball back to Mings and he is forced to play the ball long again by Rashford's press. I picked this example out because I have criticised United's front line for being lazy in previous analysis, and in other games this season, Rashford would have been here scratching his arse and this ball to Luis would have been on. But after the first 10 to 15 minutes, United's press dropped off, giving Villa more space to build up from the back and play more progressively through midfield and impose their game on United. In this screenshot, Villa have got Luis on the ball in space with options around him. Luis plays the ball out to El Ghazi and Target makes this wraparound run. Wan-Bissaka is now 2-on-1 because Rashford has not gone with Target. El Ghazi lays the ball off to Target, who then plays the ball down the line to Watkins. You can see how stretched United have become at the back, and United were lucky that Villa's midfield were off the pace in this move. The next situation, with United's press dropping off, Villa were getting into more advanced and dangerous areas, and United were having to track runners opposed to pressing static players. Grealish has the ball out on the right, and you can see Cash is looking to make the overlap, but at this point Pogba is tracking him. Pogba stops going with Cash, Grealish lays it off to him, and you can see 3 United players have failed to deal with 2 Villa players. Fernandes has lost McGinn, and he sneaks in on the back post, and De Gea makes the save. In this last situation, a short throw-in is taken by Target to McGinn. Unlike the first 15 minutes, McGinn has the time to control the ball and set himself for a pass. He pings a great cross-field ball to Traoré in space with grass in behind. Traoré carries the ball, lays it off to Cash on the overlap, who again wasn't tracked despite United having the numbers, and he hits his effort over the bar. Moving back to the whiteboard, in my analysis of the Wolves game, I criticised United for going towards the ball too much instead of running away from the ball into space. Against Villa, there was definitely a concerted effort to make runs in behind into space. Moving on to screenshots of United's first goal, great skill from Pogba, flicking the ball over McGinn's head, and Pogba nods the ball onto Rashford. At this point, you can see the huge space in behind. Rashford flicks a lovely ball around the corner to Wan-Bissaka, who attacks that space in behind Target. Wan-Bissaka drives forward with the ball, and from here you can see all Villa's players are running back towards their own goal and looking at the ball, not seeing exactly where United's runners are. Wan-Bissaka pulls a nice ball back behind the Villa defence, and Martial gets between 2 Villa defenders to score the header. In this next situation, Maguire is on the ball and switches a great ball out to Shaw, who was pushed right up the pitch. From here you can see the spacing behind Villa's backline and the gap that has opened up between Konsa and Cash. It just needs Pogba to attack that space. Pogba makes the run, gets in behind Villa's defensive line and pulls a good ball back to Martial. In this last situation, Shaw is driving forward with the ball, lays the ball off to Fernandes and continues his run towards the space in behind Villa's defensive line. Fernandes doesn't play the ball back to Shaw, but Shaw's run pull Cash away from Fernandes, forcing Luis to move across to engage Fernandes, leaving Rashford free behind Luis. This is the point I was making in the Wolves analysis. The runner doesn't always have to receive the ball for the run to make an impact on attacking moves. United did a much better job at stretching the play with forward running into spaces in behind the defensive line. There were many more examples of this from the game, which is a complete contrast to the Wolves game. The Devils' verdict is, we saw the impact that running off the ball had on the game. It creates space and passing options for the man on the ball, but what we also saw was the fallout of that. When players got forward, they didn't get back adequately enough. The game was too stretched and Villa probably had the better of the game and deserved at least a draw. I'm going to say this during the Lord Mayor's show, and that is United have got no chance of winning a league. If they get within 10 to 15 points of the winners and get Champions League football, that would be a great season and a platform to win the league next season. I still think United can finish third, but they could also finish fifth. It's going to be tight, and it could be turning the Wolves and Villa games into wins that make the difference. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the game and where you think United will finish in the league. Please like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you in the next video.